Today, I'm sharing 10 budget-friendly home staging tips that are easy to do and actually work to help sell your house faster. Whether you're a first-time seller or a realtor trying to help out your clients, these are simple strategies that you can use right now to help you sell your home faster and sometimes for more money. They'll make a great first impression, highlight the best features, and attract buyers without breaking the bank. Hey there, I'm Kasha, welcome back. And in today's episode, I'm gonna share with you the 10 best budget-friendly home staging tips that I personally use when I'm staging a client's house, because these are the things that are the biggest distraction to buyers, and we don't want that. We want them to be wowed with the home. We want them to look around and imagine themselves living in the house, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to distract them. And some of these things I'm going to bring up, you may have heard about, but I really want to get in there as a friend, as a home stager, to show you exactly what it is that I see when I come into my clients' homes. And these are the top 10 things you can easily fix, whether in a week, in a couple of days, sometimes right now, as soon as you're done watching the video, you're probably looking around going, oh, yeah, I do need to work on that. So let's jump right into those 10 budget-friendly home staging tips that you can do right now. So we're gonna go through a couple of rooms in my house to share what I see when I come into a house. Now, most of the time, I'm gonna be walking through an occupied home, meaning that the owner and their family are gonna be living in the house while it's on the real estate market. So there are gonna be a couple of things that I'm gonna ask them to either remove, change, move around when it comes time for the photos. And it may feel kind of awkward at first. You're like, but I need that, or I really love that. And this is the time when you really need to consider that this is no longer your home, okay? When you make the decision to put it on the real estate market, you need to emotionally detach yourself from the home and think of it and look through the buyer's eyes or the binoculars and their ways of how they're gonna be looking at your house. They're gonna be picky. They're gonna look through things. They're gonna nitpick every little thing in the house and go, and you don't want them to do that. You want to wow them and basically stand out among the competition, because that's what you are doing. You're in competition with all the other houses that are listed in your area, whether it's on your same street, down in the next town, whatever it may be, you're in competition with all of them, okay? So that's what I want you to consider when you're staging your house. So with these budget-friendly tips, we're gonna talk about clutter is the first one. And in the kitchen, there's gonna be clutter. There's gonna be, if you've watched my kitchen episode, I talked about how you can stage it right there. I'll show the link in the show notes so you can take a look at that video. But basically, we need to declutter each and every single room. So in the kitchen, just to start off with, there's a couple things back here on the counter that I would declutter. Definitely these magnets, things like that. So when you go through your house, start looking through with a critical eye and go, okay, that doesn't have a home, or you think it has a home, like, yes, this has a home, but that's not where it's gonna go, okay? That's not what we're doing here. We're trying to stage the house. It's gonna look and feel different. What we're trying to do is make it look great for photographs. And even after the photos are taken, there's a couple of things you could probably take out or put back out there because you need them for everyday use. But otherwise, the less stuff you have out, the less you have to clean up, okay? So clutter, number one thing that you can do that you can easily do and is budget friendly. Basically, you're gonna have to start packing it away, donating, sell, throw out, those types of things to help you sell your house faster. Okay, so now we've moved into the bathroom. We've talked about clutter, which we definitely have that in here in the bathroom, but we also need to worry about counters. So here we don't necessarily have counters. It's just a vessel sink on a cabinet. But some of you may have large, long counters in your master bathroom or another bathroom. So you want to make sure you clear those counters as well, okay? So this is the chance for you to take a look and see, well, what do I really need? But what you can do to make it easier for you is put them in something like a basket, okay? These are just some things you can easily put away, put into a basket. All of those things that are right there on the counter right there, stick them in a basket, put them in your cabinet. That way it's easy to clean up and not have to worry about it because you've put it all away, right? Let's move into a bedroom. Maybe you've painted the walls a certain color. Here you can tell it's just plain white, which is perfectly fine. But if maybe you painted the walls a different color that is now no longer trending, like maybe you painted them gray. I know my other bedrooms in my other house, they were gray. Yeah, gray is trending out. So you might want to take a look at the wall colors that you have in your house that you may have painted for your decor. But again, this is not the time about your decor. We're talking about trying to appeal to the most amount of buyers. And not every color, like red or yellow or neon green, is gonna persuade the buyer to make an offer on your house. Or if they do, they're gonna give you a lower amount than what you wanted because they realize, oh, well, I gotta spend X amount of money on painting that wall, right? You don't want them thinking that way. So change the wall to make it neutral colored so that it doesn't distract the buyer, and that way they can imagine themselves living in that house with their decor. Now, if you do need some wall colors to pick from, I do have a free guide with the 4 best wall paint colors that you can use anywhere in the home. But in there, in this quick little guide, I have the color names with basically the sheens that you need to think about for each and every single room. So along with a wall paint calculator, so you know exactly how much paint to buy, whether it's one wall or all 4 walls. That way you know exactly how many paint cans to give to your painter, or if you do it yourself, you know how much to grab, and you just walk away because you're confident in these colors will work to help sell your house faster. Another thing to consider, another quick home staging tip, is take a look at the artwork that you have in your room. Now this one's fairly tame. It's nothing, you know, offending or anything like that. Some people may like flowers, some people may like more abstract paintings. A clock or a mirror is perfectly fine. Some houses don't have any wall art in any of their houses. And I've run into that situation too, where you're kind of looking around going, wow, all these walls are kind of empty. Maybe you just repainted. Well, that's fine. But we definitely need to put some kind of artwork, whether it's in the living room, whether it's in a bedroom or a dining room, if you have one of those, eat-in kitchen, that kind of area. So there's lots of different places where you can add artwork that will help bring in some color and interest, something for the camera when they take the photos to have interesting on your wall. Okay, the next thing you can do that is totally budget friendly is the kids' toys, if you have kids. Now, some of you may not have kids, so it doesn't apply, but we do. As you can tell, there's lots of toys in here that I would definitely consider clutter. It would basically, they have a home, but there's just too much. I would definitely thin all of that out. So if they have toys in their bedroom, this is the time that they need to pick 1 or 2 loveys, and the rest needs to be packed away. Yes, I know, I said that, packed away, what? They're gonna see it. What might be easier depending on the age of your child is you can have them help you put things away and say, hey, look, we're gonna pack Mr. Bunny or Mr. Rabbit or what, you know, whatever, in the boxes so they can see, yes, they are gonna be specially handled, they're gonna go to the next house. They just can't take them right now and have them out making a mess with, whether it's, maybe it's Legos, maybe it's cars, maybe it's blocks, whatever it is. If they're young enough, they're not gonna know they're missing anyway, unless you take their lovey. Obviously then they'll notice, you know what I mean? But all the other toys, like the ones that are small enough that can fit in your hand, like balls, cars, things like that, they get easily scattered. You know, moms and dads, I know what, you know what I'm talking about. And they're like, oh, we just cleaned this room up. Yeah, pack those away. Pack them up right now. Start getting them used to not having them around. And that way it just makes it easier on you for cleanup when you do have showings and you do have an open house, okay? So toys, kids' toys are the easiest things you can start packing up in boxes, putting them away, put them in bags, whatever's easiest to get them out of the room. Another budget-saving home staging tip that you can easily do is take a look at the furniture in your living room. Is there maybe too many big pieces, maybe too many pieces, maybe too many things that just don't belong in the living room? Maybe you have a couch with lots of little chairs, or maybe you just have an extra desk or piece of furniture, maybe some extra tables that you really don't need. And that's some of the things that I see in the houses and the clients that I help stage their house, is sometimes they just have too many pieces of furniture. And by simply removing those and taking those out, maybe you put them into a different room, maybe you're not even taking it with you and you're just thinking about, well, I'm just gonna sell it. We'll go ahead and do that right now before you take pictures of your house. Now is the perfect time to do that. So start editing your living room furniture and start removing. Maybe you're gonna have to rearrange things once you do take pieces out, that you realize, oh, well, there's an empty gap here. Maybe I can just move this couch over here. Now it's more centered and it looks great for pictures. Another really easy home staging hack that you can work on when you're putting your house on the market is to bring the light in. Maybe you have some dark curtains or big blinds like I have here. I would, when it comes to taking pictures, I would start opening those up and get the light brought in, okay? So that's one of the things you can do. Open them up, lift them up all the way to the top, push the curtains all the way open. This is a great way to make the space feel even bigger and brighter and ready for those pictures. So this is something that you can easily do just by simply, if you have dark curtains, maybe just remove them. If you have sheers, push them open. Or if you have some colored curtains, push them all the way open that you can so that it looks nice and bright for your pictures. Okay, so I'm in the foyer of my house, and as you can see, there's some stuff. There's shoes. Maybe you can't see that, but there are shoes down there. Yep. You can see the coat rack. You can see that they have a cabinet. So the foyer is one of the rooms that you definitely want to take a look at when you're selling your house. It's the easiest thing you can start to do, especially if you have lots of shoes and I have lots of coats on that coat rack there. When it comes time to staging your house, you could leave the coat rack and maybe just have one per person if you really need it. If you're selling it in the summer or spring, you probably don't need that coat rack there. You might for a light jacket or something like that, but definitely if you have like winter coats on there and it is summertime, yeah, those need to go. Pack them up. You're not going to need them anyway, right? Shoes are a big thing that you can see. I've seen sports bags, backpacks, all those types of things need to be put away. Put them in a closet. This is going to be for the picture, so it's going to be like a last minute shuffle to get these things done, because I know your kids are going to be going off to school if you have kids, and that's one of the things that always gets messy, right? So that's going to be one of the hardest things, but the most budget-friendly things to do is just put it away, pack it up, and get it ready for pictures. Okay, friends, I haven't tackled this one other thing, and that's pet toys. Maybe you have pets and not children, but you have your cat, your dog, your animal, whatever it is, and you have their pet toys everywhere. The bed, the blankets, the litter box. Yeah, all that stuff needs to be put away, pulled out for the pictures especially. Obviously, if you're going to be, living in your house while it's being staged, your animal is going to be inside with you. I get that. That's no problem. But for the pictures, you need to take out the kennel. The cage should not be in the living room. Even if you live with it, for the pictures, please move it out. Take it out into the garage, wherever you can. That way it makes it easier for the photographer when they're walking around taking pictures. You're not following them, just make sure it gets it all done before the photographer shows up. Because sometimes the photographers can take an hour, sometimes 2, depending on the size of your home, depending how many pictures they take. But the pet toys, just like the kids' toys, the less you have out, the less likely you are to make a mess, leave a mess behind and forget about it and go, oh crap, I forgot to clean that up right before the showing. You know what I mean? And then the last tip I have for you, which you can't see on the camera, but you can surely avoid it when it comes time for showings, and that's a smell. Yeah, you can't smell things, obviously, when your photos are online, but if there's a smell, whether it's mold, whether it's a mildew type of thing, maybe it's a perfume, like those Everglade or the Glade plug-in type things. If you have those plug-in type things in your house because you love that scent, that's all fine and dandy for you, but when it comes time to sell your house, you need to get rid of those. Yeah, because people are thinking, oh, well, what smell are you trying to cover up? Why is this Glade plug-in here, and they're gonna be wondering, what am I missing? Is there a dog smell, a cat urine smell? What is it? Now, this is the time, I know you're not gonna be able to do it, but basically that's one of the things you can do to help with that smell, depending on what it is. If it's cigarette smoke or anything like that, that is not gonna be so budget friendly, okay? That one may require changing out the carpet and painting the walls, depending on how heavy it is. But if it comes to other smells, like if it is a mold or mildew issue, you're gonna have to take care of that anyway to sell your house. So I'd go find the source of that smell and get rid of it. And one of the other things I highly recommend to clients of mine is that please don't cook anything with strong spicy smells before an open house, before a showing, while it's on the market even. Indian food, anything like that, fish smells, those types of things, I highly recommend you don't do that kind of cooking while your house is on the market. All those kinds of smells are bad too. Basically, the smell that you want to have is no smell at all. Really, seriously. You don't want them to smell anything. You don't want I don't smell anything. That's a good thing. You've probably heard the whole thing of, well, bake some cookies or something in the oven. And you can, but then you run into the thing of the potential of it burning, or popcorn or something like that. Yeah, you don't want that smell either. So basically, if you air out your house, open up the windows, open up a door, get the fresh, clean air coming through your house, then yeah, it should be just fine the way it is. But definitely have a trusted friend. If you don't think you can smell anything, have a neighbor, a friend come over and like, do you smell anything? Yes, no? Okay, great. But smells are another thing that you need to take a look at and nip that one in the bud when you're selling your house. So I hope these 10 budget-friendly tips are ones that you can use right now to help you sell your house. Definitely take a look at my 4 wall colors that you can use to help you stage your house. If you don't know what wall paint color to use, and maybe you're kind of wondering, ooh, I probably should get rid of that red dining room or whatever color it is, and go, okay, yeah, we need to neutralize the color. Okay, Kasha, tell me what colors. I'll leave that link in the show notes so you can take a look at that free little quick guide on what paint colors to use to help you stage your house faster and sometimes for more money so that you can move into your next house. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you can, please like, subscribe, comment if you have any questions. Maybe you have some other tips. I'd love to hear them. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.